But the other important message is to give yourself time to see the benefits, and that's another downfall of a lot of people that I talk to, is that they expect it all to come off in a month, or even, you know, oh, I'm going on holiday in a fortnight, what can I do?
Absolutely.
And I say, well, you're talking to the wrong person. Really, you know, it's give you
yeah, well, that's not going to work.
Something drastic like that, yeah. You know, give yourself a realistic span of time to achieve your goals. That's what I always say. You know, I would be able to tell somebody how to lose weight very, very quickly, but I don't, because I want to get to sleep at night knowing that you know, I'm advising it in a healthy way.
And it's sustainable.
And it's sustainable, and it'll stay off. So I say, well, you know, what are your goals? When do you want to achieve them? And I always say, give yourself a year, you know, at least to get to where you want to be, by following these simple steps. And that's another important message. Give yourself enough time.
Can we just pick up this I like to call it the mental game of weight loss, because as a chartered psychologist, it's the thing that I really am passionate about and focus on quite a lot. One of the things we haven't quite touched on yet is having your own unique set of powerful reasons. And I find that one of the things I do when I start to coach somebody is that we come up with their powerful reasons, we ramp up the pain or the pleasure on the powerful reasons, because those are the things that you're going to have to hold in your mind when the challenges come up. So you go to the Christmas party and it's 3 more drinks or a big creamy dessert. You know, you're invited out for dinner, and there are options that you can have. These are the moments when there isn't anybody with you to advise you, but those powerful reasons, when they're really imprinted up here, will kick in and will keep you on track. So it's having the powerful reasons in place, and I say look for at least 10 towards motivated, in other words motivated by seeking pleasure, and 10 which are away from motivated, in other words avoiding pain. And have your goals and make them realistic. You're so right, Peter. Many people's goals are not realistic. You know, 40 pounds in 4 weeks is not a realistic weight loss goal. 40 pounds in 6 months, 9 months is probably a more realistic weight loss goal. And therefore you can actually measure the progress you have towards that. And I like to talk about goals as being smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time-bound. And unless your goals are smart, they're not going to trigger your brain for success. So powerful reasons, set goals, and actually work with those and track your progress. Something else we haven't touched on is a food diary. I've seen a lot of evidence from my own experience and others that suggest that people who keep a food diary lose on around about 60% more weight than those that don't. It's a bit like keeping a sensible rein on your finances, what you're expending and what you're earning.
Yeah.
And it's amazing when you actually look at what you're consuming and how it's making you feel. And again, my program contains a sample food diary, and you record not only what you've eaten and drunk, but how you felt afterwards. It's amazing how you can make some simple, small changes towards that.
Just by focusing on it.
Just by focusing on it. So what we focus on expands. And so focus on the things that work, and we've given you some really good tips here in a number of areas on the things that work.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close out, Peter?
I think that the other message is that what we advise, myself and you, Andrew, advise, is that this is a complete change of lifestyle. It's not a diet.
No.
And that's such an important message as well, because a diet has a beginning and an end.
Mm-hmm.
Say if you went on the Weight Watchers diet, for example, you will lose weight. I mean, there's no question about that, because your calorie intake will cut if you follow their guidelines. But there will become a point where you finish, you've reached your goals, you finish your diet. Then what do? What you've been taught or what you've gone through with that kind of plan doesn't teach you anything. And what usually happens is when you finish, or you don't go to the classes anymore, you still go for the Weight Watchers foods or those kind of foods in the supermarket, because they become your crutch. So what we're doing here is a complete re-education of how you view food and how you treat food. And it's a healthy living program. It's not a diet. These messages will go on forever. You know, they won't change. There's not a beginning and an end to this. It starts from today and carries on for the rest of your life. and you will achieve your goals. If your goal is weight loss, you will achieve those. If your goal is energy, you will achieve that. If your goal is improved digestion, you will achieve that. And the other thing that I have found is that there is, largely speaking, unless there are specific allergies, there is one diet that does everything. You know, whether you're type 2 diabetic, it's the same diet. Diabetic, it's the same diet as if you want to lose weight. It's the same diet as if you want to improve your digestion. It's the same diet as if you want to improve your skin health or your energy levels. It's all the same principles that we're putting in place. So it's a very, very simple message where that we're trying to get across here in a very, very complicated industry.
Hugely. There's so much clutter out there. Couldn't agree more with what you said, Peter. And the way I like to describe it is it's all about getting healthy in order to lose weight, which is a very different philosophy from losing weight in order to get healthy. It's looking down the right end of the telescope, carts, not before the horse, all the rest of it. In other words, creating that foundation, changing the habits and patterns, and we've given you some specific examples of how you can do that, such that weight gain and health challenges don't need to be a problem for you. And you don't need to visit the doctor regularly. You don't need to be propped up by the pharmaceutical industry that has plenty of money to be made by you being unwell. And therefore that you can take charge of your own destiny. Personally, I find that really exciting, and that's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great. It's been great to talk to you. Thank you, Peter.
No problem, thank you.
Brilliant.